Here comes everybody. Hi, Daily Antidote community, folks in the room and folks out there in the cyber universe. We are so glad you've joined us today. It is Juneteenth today. We're bringing folks into the room to help us celebrate a thoughtful and joyful Juneteenth here today. Happy to be in this space today. With Jim Harkless, Jubilee Voices, and Betsy Fulford as host. I'm going to say hello to everybody, and then I'm going to turn it over to the whole crew over there. So let's say hi to everybody who's watching today on YouTube. Hi, folks. Thanks so much for joining us. Today is day 1901 in the Daily Antidote song. That's consecutive days of singing. We have gone over into now we're on our way to day 2000 mode. And it's kind of exciting as we sort of continue this program with all of the value that it has as a platform for social justice, racial justice, and activism in a very much needed time. And we'll be talking more about this during the discussion. So let's all wave to Jim Harkless, Jubilee Voices, and Betsy Fulford over there. Great to see you guys. Glad you're here. I'm Joe Rossi. I am the director of the Daily Antidote Song. So glad you've all joined us today. Betsy and company are coming in from Alexandria, Virginia. I am coming in from Tacoma Park, Maryland. And let's say hi to the troops that are here today. Neil coming in from Boston, Massachusetts. Great to see you. Susan in Cincinnati. Hello. Ann coming in from Silver Spring, Maryland. Great to see you. Hi, TJ coming in from Memphis, Tennessee. Second day with us. We're glad you joined again. Hoda in British Columbia. Athena in Brooklyn, New York. Also reminding me that it's day 1901. Thanks, Athena. Mabel and the Bears coming in from Massachusetts. Deli coming in from Maryland. Kevin in New Hampshire also reminding me. We've got so many amazing day reminders. Hi, Kevin in New Hampshire. Aloysius in Massachusetts. Don and Leanna coming in from Vermont. Jane in Texas. Marion coming in from Brighton, UK. Bob in Albany. Caroline in DC. Linda on Orcas Island. Kathleen in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Sydney in San Francisco, California. Busy Graham. Carpe Diem Arts. Let's give it up for Carpe Diem Arts. And I do want to say, actually, Carpe Diem Arts is partnering this week with Washington Revels, who have been helping to produce this week's Juneteenth week here at the Daily Antidote Song. We started on Sunday with Jubilee Voices. We're closing this Sunday with Jubilee Voices. And in between, it has been an amazing week so far. So big ups for Washington Revels. And thanks, of course, always to Carpe Diem Arts for keeping this thing going. Trish in Victoria, British Columbia. Hello, Storm in Massachusetts. Bonnie coming in from Boise, Idaho. Laris coming in from the UK. Nice to see you. Let's see who else we have here. John coming in from, I'm not sure, maybe new to us today. We're glad you're with us, John. Thanks for joining us. Annette in California. Sue coming in from Seattle, Washington. Loriana, Kachina, and Courtney coming in from Vermont. Lynn in Connecticut, Jenny in Suffolk, UK, Elizabeth in California, Amanda and Miles in Michigan, Pauline coming in from Newcastle, UK, Harriet in Chicago, Carol in Connecticut, and still more folks joining. Whoever we missed on the hello end of things, we'll say your names on the goodbye end of things. I'm going to turn the floor over to the amazing Betsy Fulford, music director at Washington Revels. She is hosting today's Daily Antidote live from a Juneteenth site over there in Alexandria. Betsy, we're so glad you're here. Thanks for joining us. And
there we go. Thanks for having us. We are live from Alexandria City Hall in our green room. Jubilee Voices is performing today at 2 o'clock, a Juneteenth concert that they've done year after year. And they're all ready to go. You can see they're all sitting here with their costumes and ready to sing. I think they've already been sound checked. So all we have to do now is wait till 2 o'clock. They will be joined by David Fakunle at 1 o'clock, who's going to do some storytelling. So several things happening today down here in Alexandria. Everybody is welcome to, like, if you're in the area, head on down and join us. And to my left here is a very special person. He is someone you are all very familiar with, wonderful Jim Harkless. And as he wandered in, he found out that he was going to stand in for Matt, who was on for today but is sick with the flu. And so Jim is going to lead us in a song. Jim, you want to tell us a little something?
Hi, everybody. I don't think it was mentioned that Matt is one of our members of our Jubilee Voices when they told about his appearing. And I'm sorry he can't be here, and much to my surprise, I've been called into duty. Happy Juneteenth. Today is a day of celebration, a day to rise up in love and thanksgiving, because we are here to tell the story of freedom. We thank the ancestors, the wise ones who made us possible. And we're going to start with Oh Freedom. Oh freedom, oh freedom, oh freedom over me. And before I'd be a slave, I'd be buried in my grave and go home to my Lord and be free.
No more moaning.
No more moaning. No more moaning. No more moaning over me. And before I be a slave, I'll be buried in my grave and go home to my Lord and be free.
There'll be shouting.
There'll be shouting. There'll be shouting. There'll be shouting over me. And before I be a slave, I'll be buried in my grave and go home to my Lord and be free.
Oh, freedom.
Oh, freedom. Oh, freedom. Oh, freedom over me. And before I be a slave, I'll be buried in my grave and go home to my Lord and be free.
Thank you, Jim. That was fantastic. And all of Jubilee Voices joining in to, it's unique that we get them all here in the same place. So we're very excited that we could have this little extra meetup. Jim or anyone in the group, can you tell us a little bit about this song and what it means to you and what you know about its history?
Well, this song was a post-Civil War song, but it has its roots in rebellion and resistance. It was sung as a protest song, so to speak, and it was brought more into the public after the Civil War. What it means to me, we are all free. We all have rights. And what's important for us as a people is to remember those things that sustained us during the hard times, the times where life was its harshest. One of those things was companionship, fellowship, and singing. So we sing today to continue the tradition.
Moving out for the wide shot here, seeing if I can get everybody in the picture. Jim, this is a song that I think has kind of become your signature song in Jubilee Voices. Can you tell us about what it means to you every time you sing this song?
It means to me that that freedom is so all-encompassing. It means I have the feeling of our ancestors it means that all that they had to go through, the agony and pain of being enslaved, it's just a horrible existence. Can you imagine having to live that way day after day? And the songs that they made up to sustain them. And of course, this song is the epitome of freedom. It's so wonderful. It's just wonderful to be released from that bondage.
Thank you, Jim. How about a little bit about Jubilee Voices, since today Jubilee Voices is celebrating Juneteenth. Andrea or someone else in the group, could you tell us a little bit about, I think people on the Daily Antidote know you, but maybe just take a moment to just give a little quick roundup of who you are and what you do year long. Andrea?
We are Jubilee Voices. We were formed in 2011, so we've been at this for 16 years now. And I think this is our 4th or 5th year in Alexandria. Anyway, we were formed out of love for this art form called the spiritual, called the African American traditional song and music. And ever since then, we were formed for the sesquicentennial of the Civil War, and the demand for us was so great that we kept on going. I'd like to think the ancestors gave us that little push to keep on going. So we've sung across the DMV, we've sung in historic sites, we've sung in churches and on various stages, and we even went to St. Simon's Island in the Georgia Sea Islands in Georgia to share some of our singing with them as well. So it's been a lovely, joyful ride, and we hope that we keep it continuing.
I think the other thing that is significant is that we started out singing this traditional African American music, but we've also continued singing music of the civil rights era, and you can relate so many of those songs from the civil rights era that were popular in protest to some of those spirituals. And sometimes those songs were sung as they were, but oftentimes the lyrics were changed. You know, you might take Jesus out of lyric and add freedom to make the song ready to be sung by a broader group of people.
That's actually an amazing segue into Jubilee is performing today here in Alexandria, but we are also joining in the Juneteenth celebration that is out at BlackRock on Saturday, June 21st, and it will be the Heritage Voices group, and we will really be focusing on songs of social justice and the civil rights era. So you will hear some of those word changes if you join us out in BlackRock, and that's Saturday. It's in Germantown, BlackRock Performing Arts Center for the Performing Arts, and we will be performing at noon, which is at the same time as the Daily Antidote, but you can always catch the Daily Antidote on recording afterwards. So if you're in town and you want to do both things, you can do Daily Antidote a little bit later in the day. I think Joe wanted to have everybody introduce themselves, so if we could start with Jim Harkless, who's in the front.
Well,
Say who you are.
You all know me.
But where are you from? Where are you living now?
Well, I live in a senior residence in Montgomery Village, Maryland, about 30 miles north of Washington, and it's been a nice transition.
All right. And then Christina.
I'm Christina Bussey, soprano, and I'm in native Washingtonian, but I live in Maryland now.
I'm Andrea Blackford. I am the director, and I live in Alexandria, Virginia, but I'm originally from Detroit, Michigan.
I'm Jessica Steppa-Folks. I live here in Alexandria, but I'm originally from Las Vegas, Nevada.
Oh, all right.
Greg?
Oh, Greg Magruder. I'm a tenor. I'm a founding member of the group. So I met Andrea and her husband Harold because we sang in the choir at Founder United Methodist Church, and Andrea says, "Hey, I'm forming a group. Do you want to join me?" And I said yes. So here we are.
Let's see if I can get, there, I sort of can get you guys on the picture. There we go. Oops, sorry.
Hi, I'm Sharon Clark Napolitano, and I'm currently living in Washington, D.C.
Right.
Randy.
Hi, I'm Brandy Collins, and I sing soprano, and I am from Virginia, and I live in Virginia.
Sorry, everybody's blurry because Jim is in the focus right now.
All right. Hello, my name is Harold Blackford. I am the husband of our director, Andrea Blackford. I have no more to say. She says it all. I'm a native Washingtonian. We now live in Alexandria, Virginia.
And Byron is.
Right, and then Byron's in the back there. Byron, pop in. There he is.
Hi,
Okay.
I'm Byron Thomas. I'm from Charles County, Maryland. I play banjo and bones. I accompany Jubilee Voices.
Yeah. So you've got a good crowd of Jubileers here today, and
And I know that the DAS family loves Harold's beautiful bass tones. I can't see the chat, but I'm sure there's
we all do.
someone
Yeah.
has commented
Harold,
upon
say
it.
something.
Harold, say something.
Yeah. So is it, Joe, do you think it's time to reprise our song?
I think that would be fabulous.
All right. Let me give you a pitch there, Jim.
Oh, freedom. Oh, freedom. Oh, freedom over me. And before I'd be a slave, I'll be buried in my grave and go home to my Lord and be free.
No more moaning.
No more moaning. No more moaning. No more moaning over me. And before I be a slave, I'll be buried in my grave and go home to my Lord and be free.
They'll be shouting.
They'll be shouting. They'll be shouting. They'll be shouting over me. And before I be a slave, I'll be buried in my grave and go home to my Lord and be free.
Oh, freedom.
Oh, freedom. Oh, freedom. Oh, freedom over me. And before I be a slave, I'll be buried in my grave and go home to my Lord and be free.
Yay, Jubilee Voices. So you didn't get Matt, but you got everybody else all in one place, which is a wonderful.
Don't tell Matt.
One-
It took all of
we
us to
miss
replace
yeah
him.
we miss Matt, but this was a bonus to get all the voices together and hear some harmony, which you can hear it when you make harmony on the daily Antidote of Song, but it's nice to have some harmonizing coming in there.
Yes.
Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. Betsy Fulford, Jubilee Voices, Jim Harkless. Let's give it up for everybody over there, please. Yeah, what a treat to have all of you in the same space. And we are, of course, sorry that we don't have Matt with us today. A reminder to the room that Matt Pearson sang with us most recently with a tiny little baby on his back while he was playing the piano. It was magnificent. If you missed it, we'll go ahead and throw the link in the chat so you can watch that one. And we'll have Matt back with us again as soon as he's feeling back up for it. All right, let's give it up one more time. Jim Harkless, Jubilee Voices, Betsy Fulford, you guys are amongst our favorite people in the universe. I can't think of a better way to be here thinking about Jubilee, thinking about Juneteenth and about all of the things right now in the world that make it even more significant that we are celebrating it and celebrating it as loudly as we can today. So thanks again. In fact, we're celebrating it all week long with Washington Revels as partners this week. I'm going to tell everybody what we've been doing and what we've got coming up. In case you missed anything earlier this week with our Washington Revels Juneteenth week, we kicked it off with Dan and Claudia Zanes. Fabulous as always, and I'm really glad that they could join us from Baltimore. Pam Parker joined us from Bethesda, Maryland on Tuesday. Yesterday, we had Issei Barnwell in the house, and she really knocked it out of the park. I totally recommend that everybody go watch yesterday if you missed it. Of course, today, Jim Harkless replacing Matt Pearson, and then all of Jubilee Voices replacing Matt Pearson. And we're just so fortunate to be able to have this in the room. Tomorrow, we have something actually super special. As far as I remember, we haven't actually done anything like this before. Two new folks joining us, Uttam and Nitai Das, with Shruti Vishwanath being the host. They're all coming in together from India. And Shruti is going to be translating because they don't actually speak any English. I believe that might be a first. And they're going to be talking about the same kinds of themes that we think about when we're talking about Juneteenth, racial justice, social justice. And so I think it's going to be a fabulous day. On Saturday, we have the incomparable Lucille Ijoy, Kim Harris's mom, coming in with Kim Harris from Philadelphia. And that's always a lot of fun. Very wise women and very joyful. And on Sunday, we're going to close out again with the same fabulous Jubilee Voices that kicked off our week on Sunday and are closing it again on this Sunday. So thanks again to all of Washington Revels for participating in this amazing event. Let's give it up for all of them. Really super. Washington Revels actually were a founding organization with Carpe Diem Arts back in 2020 when we first came up with this fabulous event and created it. And we are really glad to be back in connection with them for this special week now. All right, let's all wave goodbye to everybody out there on YouTube. Thanks, gang, so much for joining us. Also, going to just shout out that today is actually also being filmed as part of a documentary. So that's kind of exciting. And Betsy, is there anything else you want to say, or Andrea or Jim, before we close?
I don't think so. I think just always check the Washington Revels. If you live in the area, check the Washington Revels website, revelsdc.org. We have events all year round. The next thing we're doing is participating in the Tacoma Park July 4th parade. Then we have auditions for children and teens for our Winter Revels production in the fall, and just lots of things are happening. So hang out with us sometime. If you can't make it today, and you can make it on Saturday, or you can just make it online, you'll see Jubilee Voices again on Sunday.
Beautiful. Thanks so much, Betsy. And just want to do a shout out to the number of times Jubilee Voices has been in this room with us. I wish I would have actually searched that number up before we started, but I'm sure it is in the multiple dozens. And so, singing with us since early 2020. And for anybody who is new to this community out there on what's it called, YouTube, or here in this room, there'll be a link in the chat in both places for our searchable database. This is a database that actually has all 1,901 days on there with what song was sung, who sang it, what we were celebrating, what kinds of themes we were looking at. So you can go there and find any song, including Matt Pearson when he was playing piano with his baby, or any other song that we've had, like the other umpteenth days of Jubilee Voices. If you ever want to go back and listen to any, all of the days that we've ever recorded are now all available on YouTube. So you can go direct from the sheet to the YouTube recording. And we started recording, I think, about 2 weeks after we started in 2020. So that's a lot of days up there. So if you're not busy for this next year, you could just listen to one, every day for, it would take multiple days. So a big shout out to, again, Carpe Diem Arts for keeping this Daily Antidote song going. And another big shout out to Washington Revels for partnering with us this week, to Betsy Fulford, who is magnificent, and to Jim Harkless, who we all know and love in here, and Jubilee Voices. Also amazing to be with you guys today. Thank you so much. Let's say goodbye to the folks who are here in the room. So thanks so much for joining us today. Neil in Boston, Susan in Cincinnati, Ohio, TJ coming in from Memphis, Tennessee, Hoda in British Columbia, Athena in Brooklyn, New York, Bob, Mabel, and the Bears in Massachusetts, Kevin Ennis in New Hampshire. I'm going to thank Kevin also for reminding me today's day 1,901 consecutive days of singing here in this Daily Antidote song. Don and Leanna coming in from Vermont, Marion in Brighton, UK, Bob in Albany, New York, Caroline in DC, Linda on Orcas Island, Kathleen in Albuquerque, New Mexico, Sydney in San Francisco, Busy from Carpe Diem Arts, Trish in Victoria, British Columbia, Bonnie in Boise, Idaho, Laris coming in from the UK, Phil at the Berlin airport. I sure do love the way we are really literally here from all around. Jane in Texas, thank you so much for being here. John in Vienna, Virginia, maybe new to us today, glad to see you. Sue in Seattle, Delhi in Maryland, Anne also in Maryland, Storm in Massachusetts, Annette in California, Aloysius in Massachusetts, Loriana, Kachina, and Courtney coming in from Vermont, Pauline and William. Everybody wave to 100-year-old William. Hello, William. Sending lots of love to you. And thanks for joining us again today. Lynn in Connecticut, Jenny in Suffolk, UK, Elizabeth in California, Amanda and Miles in Michigan, Harriet in Chicago. We have Diane who flew in from Puerto Rico. Nice to see you, Diane. Amanda and Miles, did I say yes? Carol in Connecticut, Gary in Massachusetts, Curly Tops in Vermont. Hi, Mommy, coming in from New Jersey. Linda in Concord, Massachusetts. Brad in Maryland, and Sarah coming in from the UK. Deep breath, everybody. Thanks so much for joining us for today's Juneteenth celebration. Thanks again to Washington Revels, Jubilee Voices, and can't wait to see you all again tomorrow right here in the Daily Antidote song. Ciao, everybody. Lots of love.
Have you ever met her mother?
I have.
You have? Yeah, she's quite a